Nikki and Jason have spent years fighting for the family they always wanted. They've survived infertility, the adoption process, and the chaos of parenthood. But nothing could have prepared them for this. Kat is here, the biological mother of their children, and she's not leaving. As Nikki watches Princess gravitate toward the woman who gave her life, she's forced to confront a terrifying question. After everything she's sacrificed, is she still the mother she fought so hard to be? Welcome back, everyone. Today we're breaking down Trying Season 5, Episode 2, titled First Days. We're now 2 episodes into Apple TV's beloved comedy about found family, and the season is already delivering emotional gut punches and laugh-out-loud moments in equal measure. The Season 4 finale ended with one of the show's biggest cliffhangers ever, Kat, the biological mother of Princess and Tyler, showing up at Nikki and Jason's doorstep. And Episode 2, First Days, it picks up right in the middle of that chaos. Let's break it all down. Before we dive into Episode 2, let's briefly recap where we are in the season. Season 5 picks up with Kat still at the front door. Princess knows Nikki hid the truth about her trip to Spain in Season 4, where Nikki met Kat and kept the details from her daughter. Princess is furious, and Tyler is caught somewhere in between, confused and unsure how to process the arrival of the woman who gave birth to them. Meanwhile, Nikki and Jason are both starting new chapters in their own lives. Jason has decided to go back to school to become a social worker, inspired by Penny's mentorship in earlier seasons. Nikki has started a new job in the travel industry. And on top of all that, Kat is now a presence in their daily lives. Episode 2, First Days, is all about what happens when the dust starts to settle and when it doesn't. The emotional core of Episode 2 is the relationship between Nikki and Princess. Princess is angry, and she has every right to be. Nikki withheld the truth about her contact with Kat in Spain, thinking she was protecting Princess. But Princess sees it differently. She sees an adult who demanded honesty from her and then quietly exempted herself. Teenagers have been building legal cases from weaker evidence for centuries. Princess's relationship with Kat supplies the immediate pressure of the season. She wants answers about where she comes from, answers that Nikki can never give her because Nikki wasn't there. Kat can provide the biological history Nikki can't, and that terrifies Nikki. Esther Smith plays this fear with heartbreaking precision. Watch how Nikki studies Princess during conversations about Kat. Her reactions often arrive before she speaks, the smile tightening while she calculates how worried she is allowed to appear. Nikki spent years trying to become a mother, and suddenly motherhood feels like a position with an additional applicant. The show understands that Princess's anger isn't just about the lie, it's about what the lie represents. Princess is trying to figure out who she is, where she comes from, and what her biological mother's return means for the family already raising her. And Nikki, for all her love and good intentions, can't give her those answers. While Princess rages, Tyler responds far less decisively. Tyler isn't following Princess's emotional timetable. His uncertainty is more subtle, more internal. Cooper Turner gives Tyler an awkward physical quality, particularly when his attention drifts toward first love and the ordinary terrors of teenage messaging. His family history matters, but so does figuring out what to text a crush. Adolescence is rude enough to schedule both crises simultaneously. This contrast between the siblings is one of the smartest choices the season makes. It avoids treating biological connection as a universal instinct. Princess craves answers. Tyler just wants to navigate being a teenager. Both reactions are valid, and both force Nikki and Jason to adapt their parenting strategies. Nikki and Jason can't apply one tidy parental strategy to both siblings. And that's exactly the kind of messy, relatable challenge that Trying does so well. Jason's calmer response to Kat creates distance between him and Nikki. He's willing to let situations develop. Nikki wants to identify every possible disaster before breakfast. Earlier seasons used these differences to make Jason and Nikki complementary. Here, the same traits become liabilities. Jason's calm can look like complacency to Nikki. Nikki's vigilance can feel suffocating to Jason. Either interpretation is entirely fair. That is usually where the interesting marriages live. This is the genius of trying. It doesn't turn Nikki and Jason against each other. It shows how two people love each other can still find themselves on opposite sides of a problem. Jason is trying to be pragmatic. Nikki is trying to protect her family. Both of them are right. And that's what makes the tension so compelling. The title of episode 2, First Days, works on multiple levels. Jason's first day. Jason is returning to education after Penny's encouragement pushes him toward social work. His night out with younger students is beautifully calibrated around generational discomfort. He expects something approaching his old idea of student nightlife, and instead finds himself among cautious, health-conscious people whose choices make him look like an archaeological exhibit from the era of irresponsible Lager. Rafe Spall rarely needs to oversell the joke. A baffled expression does the paperwork. Nikki's first day. Nikki's new travel industry job runs on similar comic friction. She wants to appear capable, composed, and professionally adult. 3 excellent reasons for Nikki to become catastrophically self-conscious. Esther Smith understands the rhythm of embarrassment comedy. She lets Nikki realize she has made a mistake a fraction before everyone else does, giving us time to watch the panic arrive. Kat's first day. This is also Kat's first day as a presence in their lives. The show is figuring out how she fits into the family dynamic, and the characters are figuring it out alongside us. The season doesn't just invent these new situations for plot convenience. Jason's social work training extends his desire to care for people into a career, while his home life becomes harder to read. Nikki's job gives her something of her own, a workplace where people don't know her as the woman who adopted Princess and Tyler. And Carrie, her charming colleague, eats her away from those histories and responds to the person standing in front of him. Colin Morgan joins the cast as Carrie, Nikki's charming new colleague, and his arrival immediately adds a new layer of tension to Nikki and Jason's marriage. Carrie works because Morgan does not play him as an approaching plot device wearing nice clothes. His exchanges with Nikki create a plausible ease, and Nikki's crush grows from a recognizable place. For years, her adult identity has revolved around trying to have children, trying to adopt, then trying to become the mother Princess and Tyler need. Carrie meets her in a new workplace, away from those histories, and responds to the person standing in front of him. That attention lands. And the show is careful with Nikki's attraction. It never requires her marriage to Jason to become fraudulent overnight. Attraction and commitment are allowed to occupy the same episode without the script calling a solicitor. Television sometimes behaves as though one flirtatious conversation means a character has been secretly miserable since the pilot. Trying gives Nikki the less sensational problem of being happy and still capable of confusion. Smith is terrific throughout these scenes. Nikki's anxiety tends to accelerate verbally, yet Smith keeps finding small pauses where embarrassment or guilt catches up with her. She can make a spiral funny, then let one misplaced glance reveal why the joke has started hurting. One of the things that makes Trying so special is its understanding of how funny normal life can be when people who are just doing their best get it slightly wrong. Episode 2 likely continues that tradition. A theme park trip earlier in the season turns Nikki's refusal to admit she fears roller coasters into an escalating exercise in doomed pride. The joke works because the show does not suddenly invent a fear for one episode. Nikki's entire personality is built around announcing that everything is fine approximately 12 seconds before proving otherwise. Humor comes from how awkward, exposed, and out of place everyone can often feel. Yet trying never laughs at them. It laughs with them, which has always been part of its charm. Let's break down what's driving the key players in episode 2. Nikki. She's terrified of losing Princess. Nikki's main fear throughout the entire adoption process has been that her children will be taken away from her. Kat's arrival is a physical manifestation of that fear. Nikki sought out Kat in season 4 to help her daughter, but she was hoping the lid would stay closed. Now Kat is here, and Nikki is spiraling. Princess, she's angry and confused. She wants answers about her past, and she's frustrated that Nikki, the person who's supposed to be her mother, withheld the truth. Princess's anger suggests she has worked out exactly who failed her, but her quieter interactions reveal a girl with no idea what Kat's return means for the family already raising her. Jason, he's trying to stay grounded. He sees that Kat's arrival is a threat to their stability, but he also understands that Princess needs answers. His pragmatism is a counterbalance to Nikki's anxiety, but it also creates friction between them. Kat, she wants a second chance. But her arrival has thrown everyone into chaos. The season is asking, what does it mean to be a biological mother when someone else has done all the raising? Tyler, he's uncertain. He doesn't have Princess's need for answers, but he's also not sure how to feel about Kat. He's navigating his own teenage concerns while the adults around him sort out their drama. First Days is a pivotal episode in the season because it establishes the new normal. Kat isn't going away. Princess is angry. Jason is back in school. Nikki has a new job. And everything is unsettled. The show is asking big questions. What does family mean when biology enters the picture? Can a marriage survive when the couple is pulled in different directions? And what happens to Nikki when she starts to feel like an outsider in the family she fought so hard to build? The season understands why this frightens Nikki. She spent years trying to become a mother, and suddenly, motherhood feels like a position with an additional applicant. First Days is the kind of episode that reminds us why Trying is one of Apple TV's best comedies. It's funny, emotionally rewarding, and unafraid to ask uncomfortable questions about marriage, parenthood, and what happens after you get the happy ending. Nikki and Jason have reached the life that once defined every decision they made. Princess and Tyler are growing up. Jason is returning to education. Nikki has a new job and a colleague she cannot quite stop thinking about. Their shared goal has been replaced by separate movements. The old version of Trying asked if they could build a family together. Season 5 asks what happens when the builders finally take separate lunch breaks. And that might be the most honest question the show has ever asked. What do you think will happen next? Will Nikki and Jason find their way back to each other? Can Princess forgive Nikki for keeping the truth from her? And where does Kat really fit in this family? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates.